God is good. Let's call Jeremiah chapter 11. I did not know, as Jeremiah did not know the plans ahead for him, not from God, but from those around him. In this chapter, that may be organized around either three prophecies that God gave to him or three times that God gave him a prophecy, the first of which, of course, starting in verse 1, where it's going to talk about the way that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, "Hear and speak. Cursed be the man that does not hear the words of this covenant that he has commanded," going all the way back to when he covenanted with his people, bringing them out of the land of Egypt. 2 in verse 4, do all that he has commanded. Verse 6 going on to talk about the way that God also said to him, proclaim all these words in the cities. Hear the words of the covenant and do them. Verse 7 saying, obey my voice. But as we have seen through most of Jeremiah, everyone walked in the stubbornness of their own heart, or evil heart here, seeking their own way once again. Verse 9 marking the third distinction in the word of the Lord that came to him, talking about the return to the bad old days. As we talked recently in Wednesday night, the good old days are not always a bad thing to refer back to, insofar as they represent us going back to healthy fundamentals, not fairy tales. Here he is talking about the way in which they're doing neither. They're going back to the reality of bad habits, saying, again, the Lord said to me, a conspiracy exists among the people of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They have turned back to the iniquities of their forefathers. Going on in verse 11 to say, therefore, disaster is upon them that they cannot escape. Going on to say, though they cry to me, I will not listen. Telling Jeremiah in verse 14, therefore, do not pray for this people or lift up a cry or a prayer on their behalf, for I will not listen when they call to me in the time of their trouble. Helping him to understand even more in verse 17 that he has decreed disaster. The one who planted them is now promising to uproot them. And we'll get an indication as to why in verses 18 through 20 that I'll just flat out read. The Lord made it known to me, and I knew. Then you showed me their deeds. But I was like a gentle lamb led to the slaughter. I did not know it was against me they devised their schemes. Thus the title, saying, let us destroy the tree with its fruit. Let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may be remembered no more. Verse 20 saying, God, since it's this way, let me see your vengeance upon them. Going on in verses 21 through 23, the end of the chapter, to show God's answer. He will vindicate Jeremiah, appointing in verse 23, the year of their punishment.